Day trading recap for Tuesday, October 29th, 2019. This was another day of missed opportunities for me. I just could not pull the trigger again on a trade that ended up being a really good trade if I had taken it. And then I took another trade that ended up going sideways on me, and I was able to partial out a little bit and reduce my risk, and it came back and hit my stop. So I'm going to show you, first of all, Grub was the big one of the day, a big down day. So if you look on the daily chart here, you can see that has been down lately. It couldn't get above that 200 moving average, kind of hit its head on it. But then today just dropped a ton. It closed yesterday at 58.39, and then it opened today around 38 something. So a tremendous drop for it. So I saw it in the pre-market, and I couldn't really. I mean, its ATR is about like 2.38 or something. So it's not really that hard for me to set a stop depending on how much it moves, because it can move a lot if it's got a high ATR. So it's hard sometimes to know where to put your stop. In the pre-market, I just didn't see a way in. And then once it opened, see, it kept hitting its head here right before the open on the VWAP. So that could have been a signal to take it short. But then it just dropped a ton right off the bat, right in the first half hour. But I couldn't really get in. It's like, if you see here, like right here, like a level here, 2-bar pullback, you could have tried to getting in here at 35.36 when it was a confirmation that it was starting to drop off of the 2-bar pullback. But then you'd have to put your stop all the way at 36.23. So it's like 75 cents almost. That's tough. That's tough. So these stocks that have high ATRs like that, sometimes harder to trade them when they're in play, only because you have to take smaller share size so that you can set your stop further away. And I find that tough to manage. It's just not easy to do when the stock moves that much. So I couldn't really get into this one. I noticed that it did cross the 8 EMA, crossed the 20 about an hour ago, or less than an hour ago, and that could have been a signal. Crossed up here. Look at this little 2-bar pullback and then green again. This probably would have been a nice spot to get in. You could have set your stop. Actually, you could have gotten in right here on this little doji, the beginning of the next candle, which was like 33.58. Set your stop maybe below that doji at or below the 8 EMA at maybe 49. That's only 10 cents. And it's already up to 87. So that would have been a nice little entryway, but you'd have to be watching this just non-stop all day, and I just couldn't do that. So the trade that I made that didn't work out for me was OI, which showed up in a scan, a gapper scan, because it gapped down today. You could see that. So I've been moving up steadily. Actually, it was looking like a nice smooth move up here, and I think it might have had earnings, not 100%. Let me just check if that. So earnings, yeah, it did have earnings after the close yesterday. So that's what dropped it down from yesterday to today. I guess it dropped in the aftermarket yesterday. So that I took notice because it had a big drop to start the day. Then it started moving its way back up. And when it crossed over, when the stock came back over the 8 EMA, actually what I was really looking at was VWAP. This is a VWAP trade for me, because this is a type of pattern I like to trade a lot. I made a scan for it, but now I just look for this pattern because the scan was showing too many alerts. I talked about that in my last video. So this came back. You see this big recovery, green bar, almost engulfing green bar here. Then these bottoming tails, and it came back through VWAP. And I didn't really wait for it to test because it had a bottoming tail here. I figured it was going to hold, and it kind of did for a while. I got in at 30, or what am I talking about? I got in at 902, so it was above a whole number too. So it had a couple things working for it, above VWAP, above a whole number, and it had a lot of room to move back. If you see this, it could recover a good amount here if it ever got a little bit of wind in it. And so I was waiting for it to make that move, and it kind of just drifted back down towards VWAP, moved back up a little, and then it kind of spiked up here. I took some of my shares out, almost more than half of them I took out here, because I just got a little nervous. I've been doing this too, and it was actually a good thing I did it. This is where fear actually kind of saved me a little bit. I took out some shares at 9.12, so just a 10-cent gain. But then you can see what it did right after that. It came back down, broke through VWAP, and then eventually hit my stop area, which was 890. And it's just not moving as much. I thought it would be more dynamic and what I was really looking for was that break of VWAP and then bring it back up, maybe get close to the open. But that just never happened. So this was just a bad trade. I managed it okay though, because I took out enough shares here that when I came back and I got stopped out here, it wasn't a full loss for me. So that was okay. But what I'm really kicking myself over is this VWAP scan that I've shown before. A VWAP, I created this little scan. I've been using it for a while. It doesn't show a ton of alerts, which is I like, because I can focus just on the ones it does and see if they fit the profile. So this one was great because the scan basically looks for stocks that are moving up along VWAP, approaching that 200 moving average on a 5-minute chart. So I will show you what stock I missed out on, which was CFX. So this alerted, you see the alert came at 10:20 at 32.13. So right here, as it's near the high of the day, 32.13. I debated getting in. I put a little arrow here saying this is where I think I should get in, right here. But I don't know why I didn't feel like it was a good trade. I think when I looked at the daily candles, I said, all right, hasn't gapped anywhere. It could make its way back up. I think my arrow was here, yeah, 32.13. So I said, it could recover all of this, but it didn't feel right. So I just didn't take the trade, and you can see what it did after from 32. Oh, sorry, it's 32.19. From 32.19, it did make its way up to about 32.50. So over 30 cents, kind of moved sideways. It's not a pretty pattern, and then it just topped off there. But that would have been a nice little trade to make some money on, at least to recover what I lost. You can see it's resting on VWAP and it's resting on the 200 right now. So it could fail and go down, but I would have been taking profits out here. So just missed opportunity there. The other one, which I'm kicking myself over, is Eversource. This one was a bummer too. So this was another VWAP trade. Look here, this is the pattern of the day here. Stocks that have dropped. It's been dropping the last few days. Gap down today, and then I saw it below VWAP coming up, hit its head, eventually broke through, and I put a little arrow there saying I'd like to get in right here, 82.53. I had a huge green bar up, and almost 25 cents over where I got it, 25 cents over where I would have gotten in. Missed that one. It came back down. You could have re-entered here when you saw it tested VWAP, but held it. I put a little arrow here to 82.74 because I thought this would be another re-entry point. I wasn't going to do it. Not exactly a great entry. You would have had to scalp out really quick because it's coming back now. But this was the one I missed right here. Once it broke VWAP, you just looked to scalp, and that would have been it. So that was unfortunate. So yeah, I can't kick myself too much though. I was able to manage a trade that was a losing trade and not take too much out. But I really wish I had taken one of those trades, especially the trade off of this skin, which I put a lot of work into it, and I just haven't been pulling the trigger on some of these that have been pretty decent trades. So yeah, so that's it. I'm working as a referral. I have a referral code for Trade Ideas. If you're interested in Trade Ideas software, I'll put it in the description of the video for 15% off your first month. If you're interested in it, definitely worth it. If you're day trading, you can't do it without it. It really is impossible if you don't have Trade Ideas software. You're just not going to be able to find enough stocks to trade. So definitely worth using it for day trading. So take the Trade Idea code. I can't even remember what it is. I think it's TC Trader 15. Use that when you subscribe, and you'll get 15% off the first month. So good luck trading, and I'll see you next time.